Well, hello and welcome, welcome, welcome to Butterroll Boutique. I've always wanted to do that. Hello. Well, today I'm just popping in to share with you some yarn that I received from a subscriber. They wanted to donate to my channel, and this is what they gifted me. I'm going to be reaching over because I have all the yarn across from me on the table, so it's going to be a little stretch. I didn't think that through before I got started, but here we are. Okay. All right, so first we're going to start with these two, and they are Red Heart Super Saver, and it is 700 and let me make sure, 774 yards. That's 396 grams. This is a 14-ounce jumbo ball. Okay, and the color way is 100% acrylic, and it is weight number 4 yarn, and it is called Buff. So I have 2 of those. It's called Buff. The recommended hook size for this yarn is a 5.5 crochet hook, millimeter crochet hook, and a 5 millimeter knitting needles. This is machine washable and dryable, but I don't recommend putting your crochet items in a warm dryer. Maybe toss them a little bit on cool, because when heat hits acrylic and the friction is going on, it tends to give it a peeling effect, or it can melt acrylic if it's too hot, and sometimes it'll give it a felting type situation. Okay, so that's Red Heart Super Saver. I have 2 of those. I'm going to reach over you again for the black. I have 2 of those, and these are Mainstay. And they are also 300, well, they're a little bit bigger, a little bit more than the Red Heart, because this is 396.9 grams, 798 yards. It's 100% acrylic, and this is Walmart's Mainstay brand. Of course, the color is black, and it is machine washable and dryable, a 4-weight yarn. The recommended hook size is the 5.5, and the needle size is the 5.0. And this is your Mainstay jumbo. It doesn't say jumbo, but it does have over 700 yards in here too. Okay, that is the black. Next we have, I'm gonna have to stand up to get this. I'm sorry, I'm reaching over. I don't want to show my body parts. Next we have white. Also 2 big jumbo balls. This is Red Heart Super Saver Jumbo. It's a number 4 weight. And of course, this color is a soft white. The recommended hook size is a 5.5 millimeter crochet hook and a 5 millimeter knitting needle. It's machine washable and dryable. And once again, I would not recommend throwing crochet items in the dryer, especially a hot one. Okay, so that is white. That's a lot of yarn, y'all, on these jumbo packs. what can you make with over, let me see, 7, 7, 14, right at 1,500 yards of yarn. And I'm just gonna reach over you for the last time, and I'll just bring the rest of it over, show you what I have. Okay, this is your jumbo, Red Heart Super Saver Jumbo in red. This color is actually called Cherry Red. And it has the same specs as the other Super Saver Jumbo. The same recommended needle. And yeah, 744 yards. Okay, that's the red. Then we have a mainstay. This is a regular size ball. And this is a regular size ball of mainstay. Look at these beautiful colors. I love these colors together. I think they're so pretty and springy, and yes, yes. Like I said, this is 100% acrylic yarn. This is Mainstays, Walmart brand. And let's look at the specs. It is a number 4. The recommended hook size is a 5.5, and for a crochet hook, and also a 5. Wait a minute, let me make sure. Yep, 5.5 for knitting needles. So they recommend a little bit bigger hook for this one. Okay, this color is called pink, and this color is teal. Aren't they pretty? Okay, so that is the end of my yarn Happy Mail. Well, they didn't mail it, they handed it to me, from my subscribers who wanted to support my channel. And I really do appreciate all of this yarn. I already know what I'm going to do with I asked for neutral colors. They asked me what I wanted. And then, of course, I love pink. And I love teal. I already know what I'm going to do with this. I'm going to incorporate this into a baby blanket that I'm making, that color. And so I'm going to be using it very soon. So I'll let you know what will be happening with all the rest of this yarn. And I want to thank you for this donation to my channel. You know who you are. I truly appreciate it. I truly appreciate it, because yarn habit, buying yarn can get to be very expensive. You have to have money when the sales go on, and I don't always have that money. And I just appreciate when someone says, hey, how can I help you? Let me donate something to your channel. Yarn is always a good, yarn and hooks. We can never have enough. Okay, so now I want to share with you what I'm working on. And I was going to do this in a separate video, but I said, well, they've kind of already seen it already. So this is more of the process of the baby blanket that I was working on. I'm just going to move this granny square over here. So what I did was I got the colors that I was going to use as an outline. And so I made most of the squares in this color outline, and the outside of the granny square. And then on the inside, I used different colors like gray, brown. I used gray, brown, and gray. Oh, Lord, I forgot just that quick. Oh, gray, brown, and cream color right here. And what I want to make is a farm animal blanket for my great grandbaby. Now, I was supposed to have this ready for Christmas. That was my goal when I started working on this blanket. But I ran into a little snag along the way, because I was actually using a free pattern off Kindle, and it is the 3D Granny Square book by, it's a free You have to go on Kindle and look at. Anyway, it's a free 3D pop-up granny scrapbook where they show you how to make the animals. And the person who wrote the book have patterns in there. They have graphs in there. It's a lot. It's a wealth of information on this in this free book. So I started, of course, those of you who know, when I started my channel, I said that this was a learning channel, and that included learning for me as well as for you. Now, I really don't know how to read patterns very well. I started learning to read patterns when I started doing doll patterns. Before then, I was just crocheting by sight, looking at shapes and mimicking the shapes and doing things like that. I've never written my own pattern or anything like that. So I was learning to read patterns by making other doll patterns by other designers. So that's how I started reading patterns. Anyway, to make a long story short, this book got pretty hard. It became very, very difficult. After making the third pattern, I made a dog from here. I think I showed that on another video or in somebody's live. And I also made a rabbit, a bunny rabbit from here, from the book. And when I got down to that cat, it was like, wait a minute, this is different. And so I stopped and I said, okay, I want to make this mine. I want to make this so bad that I'm going to have to go through, see if I can find a different method. So I went looking on YouTube, of course, in YouTube University. I was able to find this lady, just a moment, I'm going to give you her name. But she was doing, crocheting these 3D animal blankets, okay? So when I went to her channel, and it's called Craft and Crochet. Craft and Crochet. When I went to her channel, I found out that the easiest way to do these animal blankets or, character blankets or whatever you're going to do, the easiest way for me, of course, I looked at a whole lot of other blankets, other methods in which other great designers used. But I chose to do my base the way that she did it. And before I was trying to make the animals in the book one by one and trying to figure out what I was doing. I didn't really know anything about granny squares. So when I went to Craft and Crochet, she made she put hers together kind of like an assembly line in the beginning, and it made sense to me. It clicked in my head. The first thing she did was made all of the circles, all of the same size and colors that she wanted to use. Then she went back and got her border colors that she wanted, and she bordered all of them in the same color. And so, of course, this will draw the blanket together and make it more cohesive. So I used the brown that was in my stash. This blue, I'm using it, and I got it from Crafts by the Rose, Tina, who sent it to me in a box for a Christmas swap that we did. And so I got that beautiful blue from her, and I think it is Red Heart Super Saver. It's either Red Heart Super Saver or Mainstay. I'll put it in the description box when I look it up and see what brand this is. Not sponsored, by the way. So, and after she did that, I noticed that she decided which animals she was going to make. And she used the scrap yarns from her colors And she put together, like if this was going to be a brown pig, in which it is, then she used this, put the scrap yarn with that. Okay, his nose is going to be brown. His ears are going to be brown. His eyes are going to be black. She puts a little scraps of black with it, and she moved that to the side. Then she went to her next animal. If it was going to be a, let's take this one out for instance, because I just finished this one last night and I'm very proud of it. I'm gonna show off today. Okay, this one is a sheep. And so I used what I could understand from the book and from YouTube how to make this. I think the lady in the book used popcorn stitches, but I was more comfortable with puff stitches because I've been using them before. So that's what I used. And I looked at the way that this part was done, and I just kind of made it my own. I made my own ears, face, and legs because that was a very simple sheep, and I got the idea from either YouTube or out of the book. And now all I have to do is just embroider a little face on it. So what she did, she went and put her cream yarn, her brown yarn, her white yarn, and her black yarn scraps with this one and moved it to the side. And she continued to do that. If she made a dog, she put the little, she said, oh, the tongue is going to be pink, the nose is going to be black. Put her scraps with it and moved it to the side. So that's the way that she went through and made her items. This is another one from the book that I was telling you about that's free on Kindle. So I like the way they did the ears on the cow. I learned some, something new right here on how to create this look. And I'm learning on this channel. So anyway, that's what I'm making and working on today. I'll be working on making a cow. So far, I have decided to make the nose look like this, okay? And I'm gonna, not a cow. Sorry, that's a pig. This is a pig. Oh, wow, I do stuff like that. Okay, that's a pig. That's a cow over there. That's the cow. This is a pig. He's also brown. So I'm gonna, he's a darker brown, more chocolate, and a lighter brown for the nose. And I am going to create either embroider or I'll crochet a couple of circles here, and it's gonna be black or, for the nose, nostrils. Then now what I'm trying to do is create some ears. And I've been all over the place looking at the different kind of ears, and I think I'm gonna like these ears for this pig. So you know how the pig's ears are curled like that. And so the way that I'm crocheting this stiff, I think I'll be able to sew that ear on and curl it over like a pig's ear and sew that down, okay? That's my intention for that. And then, of course, I will have to embroider the eyes on. And I think that nose is going to go about right there. Of course, I'll pin on my pieces before I get started like I do with my dolls. And yeah, I think if I was going to make this square again for a baby blanket, I would definitely, I use the size 5.0 for this part, for the actual square all the way through. And then I went down to a 3.5 for these little, I'm using this 3.5 here, it's a dots. I'm using that for the little pieces, like for the ears and the nose. But I think if I did it again, I would use a smaller hook. I would go down even smaller just to make the granny square, because I think I would like the look of that. And I think I would go down even smaller, you know, for the next one if I make another one. Now, of course, the first one is mainly the prototype. But if I, on the second one, I would, you know, spiff it. I would know what I'm doing, basically. And so I do have another baby that I can make one for, a baby boy. And so when I make the next one, I think I would just use smaller hooks all the way around to do the granny square and the pieces for the face. So hopefully this will be a farm animal. I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Let me show you these 7 granny squares. And I have them sitting over here on, boy, I'm just reaching all across the screen today. I have them sitting on this blocking board. And this blocking board is just, I think it's just a little board that I got from Amazon. It has pegs to go in it. So whatever your granny squares, you can block them. I have some other pegs that I could add along the line here and along here, along the sides to make it extremely straight. But of course, I just decided to do it like this for now. I think that's straight enough for a blanket for what I'm doing, and this is my first time. I think that's straight enough. So what you do is just basically kind of make them, I make mine damp or I steam them, you know, either spray them with a wet water bottle, or I can just use my steamer, steam them, let them dry, and once they come off, they won't be wrinkled like this one right here. It hadn't been blocked. See, it won't be curled all up, and it would be straight, just like I put it on the hook. If I put this one on here, I would probably do it like this. This is a little blocking board. Okay, and you see how it's straightened out? And if I had the other pegs, I can always put pegs in it all the way around to make it straight. Then you kind of wet it a little bit and let it dry into that shape. And then you'll have a nice straight, you know, granny square. So, but these are the ones. They have, these are gray. I used cream. I'm sorry, that's not gray. Then gray. I used brown. I think I did 3 or 4 of each color. Cream, brown, and gray. And whatever animals I make, I want them to, they're going to have these color faces. Because I didn't want a whole lot of different colors in the blanket, but I wanted something basic, blue, white, brown, red, you know, for something that would be appropriate for, you know, a little traditional boy blanket, but what would be considered, you know, colors for a boy blanket. So yeah, that's what I'm working on, and that's what I'll be working on today. So yeah, I'm gonna sit here and I'm kind of making this up as I go, and I hope they are the same size. Let me see. I'm making ears now. Let me move this nose out of the way. Ooh. I'm leaving these strings on, y'all, so that when I get ready to sew it down, I'll have something to sew it down with. Let me see if they're about the same size. I don't even know if I use the same number of stitches. It doesn't appear that I have. I think it'll be okay. Now I'm going to start decreasing and make it smaller like that. And I'll be through with that. Okay? So yeah, this is a scrap piece. That and I think I got this scrap to make something else with. Okay. So that's all I'm doing, sitting here crocheting on this little piece. I'm not even going to stuff it. Once I'm finished with it, I'll just wait a minute, I don't need to go underhand on this one because I went overhand on the other one. I want to make sure they're the same. Okay. I'm going to put so I'm going to go ahead and just sit here, finish this up, and maybe come back later to show you maybe in a short. I'm going to show you how my little piggy looks. Okay, I'm going to show you how my little piggy looks. So stay tuned for that. See you later. Bye-bye.